So it occurs to me that most people's notion of prayer is asking God for what they want and how they want the world to be and how they want God to be. And it presumes a certain sense of control over God, which is complete delusion. And control over reality, the universe, anything. It doesn't work that way. And I think that a lot of people's sense of prayer is really judgment of the people that they're praying for in order to make themselves appear pious and better than and in superior position to the people around them. You know, as if I pray harder, I'll get the front seat in church. And Jesus says, hey, y'all are wasting your breath, shove it, essentially. He says, your repeated prayers, asking for the same thing over and over again, saying the same magic words that you try to say in unison, and it's all bullshit. That's what he says. He says, here's a simple prayer. If you want to say a simple prayer, Father in heaven, your name is holy, your will be done on earth as in heaven. Thanks for the bread. Forgive our sins. Help us to forgive others. Lead us away from temptation, deliver us from evil. And that's what he says. And then all this hoity-toity language of thy and thou and blah 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 and glory forever and all that was added later. And became really more of a way of enforcing group cohesion for the authority of a priest rather than connecting people with God. And it's, again, this notion of we're better, you're not saying the magic words, so you must be wrong. And, the man says, take the plank out of your own eye before you try to take the splinter out of your brother's. All this judgment and piety is pretending. All of this saying that you want these things, pretending that you know the mind of God is just such insane hubris. And the world is full of it, and religion is full of it. And it's really detestable to people who have a little bit more brains. And that turns a lot of people away from religion. And by turning people away from religion, people are turned away from God because they associate the two. And maybe they don't have a lot of brains to be able to sort that out. But nevertheless, all of that stuff only serves to drive people away from the incomprehensible power of God in the universe. It's all just this made up stuff to pretend like people have control that they do not have. And the idea of living without control is scary, but it's also quite liberating, because I can say I'm not in control of these things. Well, God, it's a lovely day. Thank you. I don't need to say anything more than that. And I don't need to say your magic words. And I don't need to pretend that you're pious or good, because you're not. Neither am I. We're all here as broken human beings who have become dissociated from our highest selves, waiting for the Lord to bring us out of this darkness that we find ourselves in. And when we allow ourselves to become quiet and listen, rather than this incessant babble of bullshit that people say that they're praying for other people, and they say these stupid phrases that are just repeated over and over, you start to hear something else in the world. And if we could get those people to shut the fuck up then people might actually be able to start listening to God. That's what I think.